Hello and welcome to this very special episode and edition of my show. It's going to be a couple of episodes. I know you guys have been waiting for a long time for that Africa edition with Junaid Jamshed, and it's finally here. Lots of work has gone into this one because I'm normally in studio, as you know, and people are used to seeing us in studio. And when we're out there and about, it's a bit more challenging, but it was very exciting. That's something I can say. Now, what we're going to show you in the next couple of episodes is the behind the scenes, Africa, the experience, the expedition with Junaid Jamshed, and some of the things that you normally don't see from us hosts that are normally sitting behind your TV screens, on a screen and in studio. So that's going to be a bit different. I'm going to walk you through some of the events as we go along. On a normal day when we move around the country, and sometimes we're in multiple cities per day, and the reason for that is because we need to be in a few places and a few events and a few shoots on the same day, so we kind of jet around all the time. What normally happens is those days start off at 4 in the morning, or if not at 3:30 in the morning. The reason for that is because we take the early flights at 6 in the morning, make it to our first destinations by the latest at 8, and the day really starts. And those days normally continue till about 8 or 9 at night from shoots, and then there's still some socializing after that. So they are basically 21-hour days, and that's the entire crew. Airports are normally busy most of the time, and that's where we find ourselves getting congested with delays, making arrangements when we get down there, and that sort of thing. And there's always somebody on the other side, or a team on the other side, that takes care of these operations as we go along. The Africa expedition has been an interesting one from the point of view that it's different. It's not what we're normally used to doing. In studio, we have these studio discussions and these heavy topics, and it's politics and it's social development and it's social issues that we talk about. When we decided to do the African experience with Junaid Jamshed, it was a mixture of a holiday environment, still experiencing Africa, bringing those visuals back to you as the viewer so that you can get to see some of the things from your couch that you normally don't get to see. This next clip is about some of the things that happens at the hotels and the discussions with our staff, and just relating to them, some of the things that are challenging to us when we're busy traveling. This run-of-the-mill thing is normal for us. Last week alone, my schedule was, I think, 7 cities in 5 days.
Jeez.
And that's normal for a talk show host and a company CEO of a TV channel. It's taxing sometimes. Lots of people ask us questions. How do you cope? Your body's going to give you one day, that type of thing. 7 cities last week. I flew back to Cape Town on Sunday. It's Wednesday now. I flew out of Cape Town again this morning. And I'm doing another 5 cities on this trip until Sunday coming. So it's running around the country all the time to do what you do. And most of my stuff I shot in studio. But on this particular tour, I'm kind of all over the country doing what we do. One needs to watch out for your health all the time. We're in different climates all the time. In this career of mine, being 14 years, I've flown all over the world, and I live on a jet most of the time. And I know my mother sent me a message last week saying, I think you spend too much time in a jet. You need to start taking vitamin boosters. And I said, no, the jet runs on fuel. But the interesting things about this tour is that you go all over the country and people say, I know you from TV, and you put a smile on people's faces, and they tell you their problems because they want you to come there and cover the issues that they find in their communities. And for me, that is a big bonus, to be able to say, we're going to come back here. I didn't know you guys exist, but now I know you exist, and we're coming back soon. You know, we are now preparing to go to an event, and all the camera guys and that sort of things are ready. I really like the holiday, and I must admit that But you know, the holiday for me is not the holiday. It means I'm on business, and that's normally work. So why they call it a holiday, I don't know. As you've just heard, I said that even the holiday inn for me is not. I don't know why they call it a holiday inn. It's not a holiday for me at all. I suppose that it comes with the territory of being on television. We're now on our way to an event that Junaid Jamshed had. It's one of the evening events, one of the opening unofficial events that he had for some of the people at the Houghton Mosque. There he recited a couple of nasheeds, and this was the night before we were off to our African expedition, which actually was the actual trip where we went to the game reserves and that sort of thing.
मर्द मुसलमान तुझे क्या याद नहीं हरफ ला तदऊ मा अल्लाह इलाहन आखर ये गाजी ये तेरे पुरस्रार बंदे जिन्हें तूने बख्शा है ज़ौक़े खुदाई ये गाजी ये तेरे पुरस्रार बंदे जिन्हें तूने बख्शा है ज़ौक़े खुदाई दोनी में इनकी ठोकर से सहरा दरिया सिमट कर पहाड़ इनकी है बत से राई या इलाही या इलाही या इलाही या इलाही
किसका कहना है
for some of the trip that we're going on to now. So that's some of the planning that's going on there. Looks like something's happening.
Okay, this one is a little bit shorter in terms of kilometers through Lightenberg.
Now Junaid stayed in this hotel, I think it's called the Monarch. Now some of the visuals that you're seeing is visuals from that hotel. It's a brilliant hotel, lots of architecture, lots of look and feel when it comes to the type of decor that they have, taking one into an old English style, something that one needs when you come to relax out in Africa. We finally left the hotel. Our hotel, we at Junaid Hotel, it's a nice hotel. I know that we're rushing off to Nelspruit. I heard, as you've seen earlier on, the tour guide and Safia has been talking about some of the places we're going to visit and shoot today. I know that sound quite nice. I heard something about God's Window and something about the safari in Nelspruit. It's all very exciting to do all these things behind the scenes. Let's go and see what all that's about. Let's first catch up with Junaid. He's always late, but let's go and find out.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Just
Okay. Mr. Johnny, we'll chat a bit later. It's really running out. Johnny, quick comment on your way out. How's the trip going so far?
the trip is going great, and I think we are communicating with more and more people. And I personally feel that on this trip, I actually, to a very pleasant surprise, that people here in South Africa, they know my nasheeds more and more, especially the new ones. And I have had this opportunity to read nasheeds from all 5-6 albums. Yesterday it was just beautiful. I had heard about this masjid a lot, and it's a huge masjid.
Yes.
And I didn't know that so many people would still turn up.
Yeah.
It actually depends on the people. If they're enjoying it, the reader enjoys. And it was exactly like that.
Right.
I know a lot of people in Joburg. And so I was so much at ease because I could see my friends scattered all around it.
Yeah. We're on our way to the safari.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about that?
To read the nasheeds to the animals. And why not?
Yes, of course.
Why not?
They do
Because the
understand.
word of Allah,
Yes.
I'm sure every animal recognizes the word of Allah.
100%. So,
So-
we'll catch up with you a bit later.
Sure.
Alrighty, all set. And where are we off to? To the safari from Pakistan all the way, going to the world's greatest park, to one of the greatest. I shouldn't use the word collection, but like you have all the animals there, the lions and the zebras and the giraffes, every possible animal, from the creepers. Oh, so you think it's a good idea? Going to the Kruger Park?
Yes.
But I just hope the lions don't jump on me or something.
No, they won't, sir.
Yeah?
Yes.
Nice lions?
Yes.
Okay. So Queen, what do you think?
Oh,
It's a
that's
good
nice.
idea?
That's nice. Being Kruger is nice.
Yeah?
Queen is the
Been to
queen of the jungle.
No, I never been there, but it's next to where I'm staying. But it's nice.
Do you know what my cameraman is saying? He's saying she's the queen of the jungle.
Some of them they call me the queen of Mona.
Queen
In
of-
Malaysia, yeah, he likes to call me the queen
Yes.
of Mona.
There's this you see this monarch? And there you see the monarch. This very nice little hotel. The staff has really taken great care of me. And I'm coming back here, and I seriously look forward to not just coming back to this hotel. I seriously look forward to coming back to this great country, South Africa.
We had excellent coordinators, Safia Musa and her team and her children. They were excellent coordinators, getting everything planned ahead of time. So things happened as they're supposed to happen and when they needed to happen. Oh, you're in front in the middle?
Even when he's not at work, he still works.
We're on our way to the game reserve. Something I'm a bit not used to is spending a lot of time on a long road like this. All that I'm seeing for the last 3 hours, I think, is barren land. And I know that we're going, I think, via Polokwane or something. And after that, I heard of somebody talking about a place called Zanin, I think. And from there to the Karangwe Lodge, if I've got that right, or Safari Lodge. I know we expected to see some lions and all those kind of things. So it's kind of interesting because, you know, we're used to moving around with planes and stuff like that, and now what happens is when you're on the long road, there's some other challenges, like not having a toilet, that kind of thing. So one tries to cope with that. It's very hot out here. The rest of the guys are behind us, and so we're an entire entourage is going down to find out what the lions are up to. But we'll give them your best wishes at any rate. From that clip you can see that I'm not one that normally travels by car at all. In actual fact, the furthest I go with the car is from the studio back home and maybe 1 or 2 stops somewhere else. But I don't actually travel by car, so this was the first time spending that amount of time in a vehicle. Like I mentioned, some of the benefits are not having a toilet, if I want to call that a benefit. But there are other benefits, and that's you can actually feel like you're on terra firma all the time. And that's something you don't get when you're in a jet. Once you're in a jet, there's nothing else you can do. You cannot walk around, you cannot stop at the mall and that sort of thing. So I suppose both Both mediums has its benefits, its pros and its cons. And it was interesting seeing the countryside. The nice thing about being in this vehicle all the time was seeing nothing. You drive past bush for hours and there's suddenly a town or a city. And one comes to realize that why do we fight for land? There's so much. It's another 3 hours later. The scenery has changed a little bit. We're all a bit tired. I think we've been on the road for a couple of hours now. And we're about 150 kilometers away from the Karangwe Game Reserve. And I know the lions are still waiting for us. They're quite hungry. And so they obviously waiting for us. But the road so far is absolutely dry. I think it's about 40 degrees Celsius. Not much to see along the way besides bush. But there's a level of peace. And sometimes one thinks that, you know, we live in a concrete jungle and we need to move away from certain things sometimes in terms of, you know, I've got my Apple Mac here, I've got my iPhone here, and I've got my iPad here, and all kinds of things. And sometimes we need to leave these things behind and come to this kind of environment so we can relax and that sort of thing. Catch up with you a bit later. We finally arrived in a place called Junaid. It's not our final destination where we're going to be stopping today. I think we about another 70 to 80 kilometers of stand corrected to where we actually want to go, and that's to the Karangwe Lodge or Game Reserve. Now, this is a little map of the area. It's in the Limpopo region. The road is a tough road from the point of view that it's a straight road, then it goes through a whole lot of forest and that type of thing. It's a very long road. I'm not used to it at all, but one needs to adapt when you're traveling. I feel like I've got arthritis at the moment, actually, from sitting in the car all the time. But we're about 70 kilometers away, like I said, and the entire team is tired at the moment. So I think it's almost time to see that lions that I've been talking about. Now, I consulted with my production team and my editors, and we decided to show you something funny. I'm not sure if we're supposed to show you guys this, but we decided to do that. Now, the next clip, I'm giving you a heads up. Junaid Jamshed is talking to us, and he's sitting in a van, and I know that his vehicle was in the back or front of ours, so we were in two separate vehicles. I mean, if you have two people that talk a lot in the same vehicle, that could be a problem, so we were in two different vehicles. So we stopped at this engine stop with a Shell, I don't know what it was, something to that effect. And my driver from my vehicle decides to get out, but he doesn't realize that Junaid is in a TV interview in the vehicle, and our driver decides to get to the back window and catch on something very funny. So if you look to the left of your screen as Junaid is speaking, our driver made a blooper. Catch this one.
I'm actually enjoying the scene here. What a beautiful country. It actually reminds me of some of the areas back home in my country, right in the north. A lot of mountains, very picturesque. And because the scenery is so nice, you don't feel tired, even though we've been out almost 5 hours driving on the road, but we feel fresh. And because nature has its ways of keeping you energized. You take all the energy from the nature of the creator who's created it for us, and for us to be thankful for all his bounties. So enjoying myself to the fullest.
Now I know that was something extremely funny that you saw there, but we decided to show it to you, and the reason for that is television is not only about the things that we normally do all the time and the seriousness. Funny things happen all the time behind the scenes, and we decided to take you out of the studio, and that's what Out of the Studio is all about. So we decided to show you that one. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite funny. So basically, how far are we at the moment?
It says 67 kilometers, but they say we must look for a gate.
Yeah.
So that gate could be a bit earlier than the 67 kilometers.
No, we have some challenges, and we know that it's getting late and stuff like that. So if it's getting dark, isn't that a challenge for you?
To travel back home.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If it was earlier in the day, I would go and look for accommodation. But at night, where do you look for accommodation?
Yes, correct. Yes. So because the road here is quite bad, Actually, there's lots of
That's why,
potholes.
that's why we're gonna leave you and straight head to drive straight to Leidenberg
Yeah.
to try to avoid that section of the road before dawn with the potholes and get onto the highway. And then from the highway, it will be okay, because I mean it's highway to.
Yeah. We kind of heading near the border of South Africa now, up on the Limpopo side. I think is this the Zimbabwe border that comes up after this?
No, I mean Botswana and Zimbabwe joined.
Yes.
It was that road, Polokwane. If you
Yes.
go straight
Yes.
through Polokwane, but it was about another 200 kilometers or something.
We were actually due to be at the game reserve at 4 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock now. I think we're about an hour and a half still away. So we're behind schedule, but you know, when you're traveling, that's all about traveling is sometimes you're on time, sometimes you're not on time. You just go with it. I don't know, it looks like we've arrived at the place. I think this is one of the wrong entrances. But this is the Karangwe portfolio. And I see Junaid is also here.
Oh.
Junaid, it's been a long trip.
It's
But
been a
look
long
at the
trip.
Look at, they call this the African sun. That's what he said. Well, we've just reached the Karangwe Game Reserve. We seem to have gone into the wrong entrance there. I remember that incident. And Junaid and myself were just admiring the African sun. But that's where we end today's program. This is a multi-part series, the Africa edition with Junaid Jamshed. I know that we are not playing them in sequence on TV. We are playing them every couple of days, the additional episode to that, so do catch that again. Until next time, thank you for joining us as we take you further up Africa and show you the beauty of this country.